So hello, we've got another half week of half marathon training under our belt. This week we're in a total of 24 miles. This coming week is a step back week, so we'll only be doing 21. I'm pretty excited for the step back week just for a week of a little bit lower mileage overall. This past week left me with some pretty stiff calves, so I'm just looking forward to a week where I'm running less mileage and have a little bit more time to rest and stretch out. Though the following week things will ramp right back up. My next long run is actually going to be 9 miles after the step back week's done. This coming weekend I'm only going to be running 6. The long run for this week I did on my own. It was pretty fun, a little bit lonely, but because my parents stayed over with us on Friday night, we decided that we would run separately this week, especially since Erica had some things to do as well. The next long run that I will be doing with her will most likely be on the 9th, or for my 9-miler rather. So I'm pretty excited to get back out and run with her just because it made things go a lot faster last week. This week I did all of my runs except for one outdoors. The one that I did indoors, it was pouring rain when I woke up, and it was also pretty cold, and I just didn't want to worry about getting all wet, cold, possibly getting sick. So I definitely took that run indoors. This past weekend for my runs, my 8-miler and my 3-miler, it was really, really windy out, so I was battling 20 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts while I was out. They were absolutely horrible on the way out. I told the boy when I got back from my 3-miler that there was a point about halfway through where I was done. I didn't want to run anymore. I was done, but I still had 1.5 miles to go. I was 1.5 miles from home, so I decided, by the time he gets here in his car, I would already be home, so we're just going to keep moving. I'm really glad I did. It sucked, but I'm glad I went out and did it. Otherwise, this week's been pretty good. I figured out a lot about the fueling. I'm definitely eating a lot more protein than I was 2 weeks ago and feeling a lot better for it. I'm not feeling like I'm going to eat my arm or the contents of my fridge. I discovered earlier this week that I definitely need to eat something carby before I go out running just because it helps me keep my energy up. But after I get back, I definitely need to dive into something protein-dense. That might not work for everybody, but it definitely works for me. I'm also just trying to keep busy looking at my half marathon plan and planning out more running routes. Erica and I have discussed exploring different areas of town for long runs as they continue to get longer, just because running the same route over and over and over again, while great, is probably going to get boring, especially since a lot of our run is actually taking the half marathon course, which is great. We'll be used to it, but we also want to get a change of scenery every now and then as well. So one of the things that I've been exploring this week has just been how to get layered up appropriately for running out in the cold. There have been a couple days where I've gone out in a long sleeve compression shirt and a pullover, and other days where I've been perfectly fine in a t-shirt and a pullover. So I'm definitely trying to figure out where I'm most comfortable. I really like being warm when I'm running. But I've discovered this week also that when I picked running back up in October, I was actually really slow, and I'm a minute faster per mile now since I picked that up, and that was only 4 months ago. So definitely excited to see how much faster I'll be able to get since I'm starting to work a little bit on speed. I definitely want to be 30 seconds to a minute per mile faster by the time I get to the half marathon. But this week's video is going to be kind of short. This week's training was pretty about the same as the past couple weeks. Busy, long. I'm definitely looking forward to the step back week because I'm just ready to rest, relax, ease up on those tight calves, get some more stretching done, and just enjoy this week. Anyway, if you have any questions for me, definitely leave them in the comments, and I'll see you guys next week.